If you've ever wondered what it's like to go fishing on one of the most famous rivers in the United States for trout, today we're going to be hiking on an island surrounded by tailwaters where we have unlimited access to fish, and it's called Osceola Island. So if you're ready to join me on an adventure, let's go for a hike and let's go catch some fish. Before we start this hike, I do want to feature and highlight one thing, and that is that we have the Weir Dam right behind us. And this is a dam that's built simply to put more oxygen in the water to make it a very healthy environment for all the trout downriver. If you are a guest here at Tailwaters Lodge, then you are only about 1 minute away from the public parking lot right here at the island, and connected to this parking lot is one of the only public restrooms that has running water. So I hope you guys will take advantage of that before you enter the island, because once you're on the island there are no restrooms. It's just walking paths and fishing opportunities. I would like to add that this is also an excellent area for picnics. So you can see there's lots of picnic tables all around me, as well as grills, and it's a great place to grab some lunch in between fishing trips or while you're hiking around. So I've been doing a series of hikes around Tailwaters Lodge, and this is the final one. And the reason it's the final one is because access to the island was shut off shortly after Hurricane Helene, when a tree landed on the one bridge that goes in and out of the island. They finally got it repaired, which means that now we can finally go out, we can finish the video and go have some fun. So let's go across the bridge and let's see what we can find. So we're officially on the island. As you first step into the island, you can go right or you can go left. I'm gonna choose to go left because I wanna go downriver and I wanna go to the bottom section of the island. I noticed there were some trout. They were feeding on the surface when I was first driving over the bridge to access this area. So let's head this way. Let's go see if we can find some of those emerging trout. When the TVA built South Holston Dam, construction completed in 1950, the flow of the South Fork River was altered dramatically. Later in 1991, the TVA constructed the Weir system below the dam to improve oxygen levels in the tailwater. TVA reshaped and stabilized the land in the river channel, creating what is now Osceola Island. So while there may have been natural river bars or small islands in this stretch originally, Osceola Island, as you know it today, was engineered by the TVA. If you are a wildlife enthusiast, especially for birds, then you're going to love this island. Year-round, there are opportunities to see bald eagles, osprey, blue heron, and in the wintertime, we actually have a lot of migrating birds that come to this area, including buffleheads, which is a really cool-looking duck. So, you know, this is just a great location. It's public, so you can come here year-round, like I said. And every time I come, I see something unique and beautiful. And even if you don't fish, this is a great place to come. Bring your camera, and you will not be disappointed. In fact, guys, straight ahead, I just turned the camera off when I was talking about birds and wildlife. Straight ahead of me are 2 baby deer and a mom. Check this out. Look at this, guys. Look at that right there, baby deer. Oh, goodness. Wow. How cool was that, guys? I mean, you know, with that wide angle lens, it's hard to tell how close a person gets to animals, but I can tell you I was probably only 15 feet away from that baby deer. That was really cool. It just goes to show how special this place is. That was a neat experience. We're almost to our first spot, so let's keep going downriver and let's see what we can find. Okay, so we're at the bottom portion of the island. Let me show you guys what's going on over here. We've got a pump house that is run by the TVA directly across, and then we've got a bunch of shallow water through here. But right over here, we've got a little bit of a shelf, and I'm noticing fish going up and down through there. So let's go see if we can trick a few trout and catch something beautiful. Now, one thing I want you to notice is we've already got leaves coming down. It's now September, so we're in a changing of the seasons. It's about to get nice and cool outside. It already is. It's about 60 degrees right now. Off of the water, it's more like probably 55. And it is just such a nice, pleasant experience out here already. If you're like me, I like it when things start to change and the air temps start to drop a little bit. And that's exactly what's happening now. I have a double setup today. It's gonna be a dry dropper setup. So we're gonna be targeting the surface as well as the bottom. And all I'm doing here is I'm giving myself plenty of room for my back cast. Now I will say, before I start fishing, that know the generating schedule. you know, they shouldn't start generating water out of the dam until 12. So that gives me 2 hours of fishing here by the time the water gets to this location. Always double check and know exactly how much time you have to wade, because right now, you know, the water's up to my knees, almost my waist, but when that water comes up, it becomes very dangerous, and you need to be very aware of where the water is going to be at all times. That's a very important thing. After about 10 minutes of fishing, I decided it was time to move on to the next location as we hiked around Osceola Island. I'm gonna keep moving now because I wanna keep my eyes peeled for more trout that are feeding on the surface. And we're gonna work our way up to the back side of the island where there is actually another weird dam that most people aren't aware of. So we're gonna work our way up. I also noticed that my waders are very leaky, and now I feel like I'm just walking around with just water in my boots. So, that's what happens when you bust out the old waders you haven't used in a while. It looks like I'm gonna have to get some new ones this year. Oh, and here's another deer. Right out here in the path. I bet you that's the same one. There it goes. Okay, so I'm getting closer to the backside weir dam. And the reason I know that is because you can hear it. It makes quite a bit of noise even when they're not churning out a lot of water. There's always water kind of gushing out to help the oxygen. And that goes for even when it's at its lowest pool. So this is the second one that not a lot of people know about. It is very shallow, guys. So shallow, in fact, that I don't know that I'm even gonna go out there and fish it. It is a cool structure to look at. They do have a platform right over here. I'm gonna keep moving up the backside of the island. We're gonna go to the top of the island now. So let's keep moving and see if we can notice a few more fish coming up, maybe try our luck some more. Osceola Island is located in the South Holston River, just down below the South Holston Dam in Bristol, Tennessee. The Osceola Island Loop is a walking hiking trail that encircles the island in a loop of about 1.5 to 1.6 miles. The trail is relatively flat, suitable for casual walking, and accessibility year-round. So guys, just behind me is a good example of what it looks like when they're not generating next to the backside of the island. It almost reminds me a little bit of a pond, and in fact, a lot of the locals here and a lot of the fishing guides actually call it the pond. And this is the reason why, because it's very stagnant water, it's very clear. And in fact, you do see a lot of fish kicking around and swimming around, feeding and doing things. But like I said, you've got to be super stealthy when you come out here, because when they have these low flows like they do today, it is hard to sneak up on anything. You know, most of the time I consider the spring to be a time where you see a lot of flowers, but I mean, check out these beautiful yellow flowers here on the island. They are blooming everywhere. Little honeybee right there. That was cool. Toward the top, there may be some opportunities, so that's why I'm not stopping yet. I'm just working my way all the way up to the other side of the island, because once we get up there, we should have a few opportunities to cast the fly rod some more. And then we're gonna come full circle and we're gonna fish a little bit at that first weir dam where we started the whole video. On a side note, the water has mostly leaked back out of my waders now, so it feels like I'm not necessarily walking on a water balloon anymore. So, in case anyone was concerned. We are now in a section of the island that is directly across from the only boat ramp you can access for the pond section, or the upper section above the weir dam. And it's directly across me here. Let's see. Right over there, you can barely see it. We're officially to the top side of the island. It's now starting to round a bit, and it's gonna go all the way up to this point before it turns back. So we're gonna see if we can access the water over here and try our luck with some trout just up above the island. After wading out just a few feet, I realized that it was going to be a bit too deep for my comfort level to get to where the trout were surfacing. So I erred on the side of caution and got back out onto the hiking trail to continue my hike to the weir dam. We're going to circle back now. We're going to complete this little loop that goes back to the main weir dam. And we're going to go back down to the weir dam where we have the most moving water. And let's go see if we can try our luck where we started. Also, a fun fact that there are a lot of mile markers that indicate how far you've gone. I think they're 0.2 spaced apart. So if you're a runner or a walker and you're trying to figure out how far you've gone, you can actually keep track of that with these mile markers, which is neat. One thing I'm noticing throughout my hike, is, especially as I go around this big loop, is that there are intersecting paths that will cut you straight across to the other side of the island. And I've noticed that every like a couple hundred yards, you'll see a little path that cuts to the other side. So there's plenty of room for you to cut across anytime you want. Today we're just doing the big loop, just so we can see the full length of the island. All right, so here are the buoys that go straight across the river. And those mean do not go any further, go back, because directly ahead is the Weir Dam. We are back to the Weir Dam. And that means it's finally time to see if we can get some moving water, drift some flies, and see what happens. So here's the Weir Dam right here. We've got plenty of access, very shallow. So let's wait out, let's do a little fishing. Fish on, here we go. All right, guys, he's a jumper. He hit the bottom fly. All right, guys, fish on. Looks like a little rainbow, maybe. Woo. And he is a fighter, he is digging. Let's see if we can get him. I'm just gonna wet my hand. Let's keep his head on the surface. That's really, once you get their head on the surface, they can't fight as well. What a beautiful little rainbow here, guys. Oh, and there he goes. So, came right off as we were getting ready to remove the hook. It came off itself, but that was a lot of fun. I've been watching a little pod of fish right over here. They're still there. So guys, there is a pod of fish where I just caught that one. We're gonna go right back to it and see if we can catch another rainbow. This seems to be the most active spot of the island so far, where I'm currently at. And we're gonna drift this right back into that same zone because there are more fish jumping. Yeah, we got a lot of eating activity right now in this little pocket. Oh, fish on, got another one. There we go, guys. Oh, it's a better fish this time too. Much better fish. Woo. Look at him jumping, guys. What a fun time. They're hitting on that bottom fly. I believe it's just a little bitty zebra midge, something like that. Let's clear some of this line out. And just like before, we're gonna try to get his head on the surface, kind of ski him in. If you can keep his head up on the surface, that makes it a little bit harder for him to fight. Now I can just, oh, and there he goes. So got our second fish off there. That's what I get for not bringing my net today. When you try to hand hold stuff, sometimes it can get a little bit tricky there at the end, but oh, that's so much fun. All right, that was so much fun. I just love coming out to the island, exploring, looking around, seeing all the wildlife. It's just a good time. All right, well, we've gone what appears to be about 1.5 miles, which is pretty cool. Let's get back off the island. We're gonna get back on the bridge, and let's head over to Tailwaters Lodge. I hope you enjoyed the adventure as much as I did today. If you'd like to see another hiking video near Tailwaters Lodge, we have the Tailwaters Trail hike. I hope you'll check that one out. Or you may be interested in what it's like to go down the South Holston River on a guided trip. I've got another fun video right here. Till next time, tight lines.